Joaquim Oliveira, a man marked by the sun and sacrifice, finds himself on the verge of a unique and unexpected experience, a plane trip to Sao Paulo. He's a humble farmer, one of those who sees the truth in the simplicity of rural life. And there, sitting in the airport waiting area, his heart beats faster. This flight means more than just a journey, it's a leap out of his comfort zone, away from the routines of Minas Gerais. Carrying a medical diagnosis filled with uncertainties, Joaquim still dares to dream with a spark of hope about what the future holds. For Joaquim, this trip represents a battle on two fronts. On one side his health, on the other his desire to see his farm thrive. That piece of land was more than his livelihood, it was his legacy. He pictured every detail of what could be done there, even under the shadow of his diagnosis. Would he have the strength to make that dream a reality? Eyes fixed on the clouds, he searches for answers that only the future can reveal. At the airport, the world seems to spin too fast for someone used to the slow rhythm of the countryside. Rushed faces, strange voices, and a system that hardly cares for a farmer's daily struggles. Joaquim feels the family mystery of the big city, something distant, almost unreachable. Everything there is new, and as intimidating as it is, he moves forward with a look of fascination. Do they know the truth the countryside teaches us? He wonders, absorbing every detail, trying to understand. But don't be mistaken, he's not just a man of the land. Joaquim carries an old wisdom, rooted in the soil he's always cultivated, and he bears it like a shield. Even though the diagnosis weighs on him, he clings to resilience. He knows the journey is just beginning. He's always believed that sacrifice is a stepping stone to achievement, and only the truth of hard work makes success worthwhile. Waiting for his flight, Joaquim renews his promise not to leave the farm behind, no matter what lies ahead. Like a first-time sailor, he studies the airplane that will now take him to the unknown. The machine is strange, grand, a marvel so far removed from the simplicity of his farm tools. Yet, there's something familiar in crossing horizons because he understands journeys and sacrifices. In the air, as the landscape dissolves into clouds, Joaquim allows himself to dream. After all, the farm's future, and the family's dignity, depend on this leap of faith. On board, with his heart racing, he revisits the promises he's made to himself, each one a seed planted in the soil of his dreams. He carries within him a profound purpose, one that goes beyond himself, an almost tangible love for the land and the sacrifices it demands. And so, he wonders, what truth awaits him in Sao Paulo? He knows the answer won't come immediately, but it's there, hidden in the air, among the clouds and the mysteries of a new reality. In the middle of the airport chaos, Joaquim encounters Helena Mendonça, a figure completely different from what he's used to. She exudes a kind of cold authority, with her impeccable posture and the smell of expensive perfume filling the air. Helena, however, notices the simple farmer beside her and makes a face of displeasure. To her, someone like Joaquim, with worn-out clothes and the earthy scent that clings to him, represents a reality she'd rather keep at a distance. That moment becomes a clash between two worlds that barely understand each other. Helena, used to giving orders and being obeyed, quickly approaches the counter, demanding that Joaquim be relocated. She claims, without hesitation, that his smell is unacceptable for someone of her status. Joaquim, observing her with an unusual calmness, senses that the real unpleasant odor in the room might be one of pride. He listens without interrupting, taking in each word of contempt while holding firmly to his own dignity. After all, for him, someone who understands the value of sacrifice isn't intimidated by empty words. As Helena continues to argue about what she considers inappropriate, Joaquim remains silent, absorbing the moment. Each word from her is an opportunity for reflection, a chance to see just how far ignorance can go. For him, his truth lies in the simplicity of life, while Helena seems lost in her own luxury. Even in the face of humiliation, Joaquim recalls his greater purpose. He's there for a dream and a mission, and he won't let judgmental looks change that. Other passengers begin to notice the scene, some bothered by Helena's behavior, others curious about the man who seems so unaffected by the conflict. In his quiet demeanor, Joachim inspires silent admiration, a respect that transcends differences in status. Instead of responding with the same arrogance, he keeps his head held high, a living example of how sacrifice teaches us to rise above life's provocations. After all, it's in the truth of who we are that we find the strength to face others' pride. The attendant, visibly uncomfortable, finally decides to step in, offering a solution to calm the situation. He suggests that Joachim be moved to economy class, something Helena celebrates with a superior smile. Joachim accepts the arrangement without resistance, knowing that dignity isn't defined by the seat you occupy. For him, the value lies in keeping a light heart, in not letting others' disdain disturb his inner peace. It's a lesson for anyone watching. When we stay true to our truth, the world has no way to diminish us. At that moment, Joachim realizes that his experience in Sao Paulo was already bringing him unexpected challenges. He takes a deep breath and, with one last glance at Helena, mentally releases any resentment. The truth he carries and the sacrifices he makes for his farm are greater than any judgment. He heads toward his new seat with calm steps, leaving a sense of family mystery between him and Helena, as neither of them realizes yet that their lives are connected in ways they can't even imagine. As Joachim is guided to economy class, he accepts the change with a serenity that sets him apart from the crowd. The humiliation might have discouraged many, but he understands something deeper. Dignity is a truth no one can take away, a gift that stays with us even in tough times. Walking toward his new seat, he notices curious looks around him but keeps his calm composure. For him, this momentary sacrifice is a small battle, and he knows destiny holds greater purposes. His heart remains steady, fueled by a quiet hope. Sitting among the everyday passengers, Joachim is greeted with friendly smiles and light-hearted conversation. The people there are welcoming, familiar, like the soil of his farm. He listens to stories that make him feel close to home, stories of hard work and the sacrifices each of them has faced, and it gives him a sense of belonging. Without realizing it, he becomes a point of connection for strangers, who see themselves reflected in the simplicity and respect with which Joachim lives his own life. For Helena, watching the scene from afar, Joachim is now just a mere passenger relegated to an inferior class. However, she doesn't realize that a person's true value goes far beyond labels and status. Sitting in his new seat, Joachim feels freer than ever, distanced from judgments and societal pressures. He understands that the world has mysterious ways of teaching us what truly matters. By moving away from Helena's prejudice, Joachim rediscovers his own truth, one that resonates with the priceless value of staying true to himself. The flight continues, and Joachim drifts into thoughts of his farm, as if the high skies bring him closer to his most cherished dreams. He recalls the green fields of Minas, the smell of damp soil and the crops waiting for him. This brief distance only strengthens his determination to turn the farm into something that will leave a legacy. Each sacrifice has a purpose, he reflects, and that moment, uncomfortable or not, was part of a greater process. Joachim knows that challenges are merely a prelude to what lies ahead. The flight attendants, noticing Joachim's initial discomfort, try to ease the moment with gestures of kindness. They offer him a coffee, share a few friendly, respectful words, and he once again feels grounded and at ease. These small gestures remind him that, wherever we are, there are always those who can see the heart of a person, regardless of their social status. Joachim smiles to himself, thinking about how curious it is that, even on an airplane, there's room for truth and empathy to flourish. As the plane cuts through the sky, Joachim closes his eyes and senses that this journey has already begun transforming him in unexpected ways. He feels the family mystery of the big city and the unplanned encounters surrounding him, something he can't quite decipher yet. Even after the humiliation, he chooses to hold on to hope for the future, as he understands that life tests us, but it also guides us. Somewhere there's a reason behind each experience, and Joachim feels that his is just beginning, patiently awaiting the next chapter. Pedro and Luisa, each with their own story and unique world, meet almost by chance, moved by the force of destiny. At first it's a subtle connection, but soon they realize it's something deeper. Pedro, with his captivating simplicity and honest smile, is something new for Luisa, who is used to her mother's sophisticated world. He exudes a rare authenticity, something that fascinates her and makes her question the superficial luxury she's always known. And so, without them even noticing, a romance begins that promises to change everything. While Luisa discovers the charms of Pedro's world, he too is captivated by her quiet charm and calm demeanor. To him, Luisa is a family mystery, a breath of elegance and freshness that also holds an attractive simplicity. They spend afternoons together, diving into conversations that seem endless. Between laughter and exchanged glances, they both start to realize they're creating something special, a bond that defies social barriers and their family's prejudices. Each meeting only deepens the feeling. Pedro and Luisa find refuge in each other, a truth both of them seek amidst their parents' conflicting worlds. For Pedro, Luisa is a kind of healing, a revelation that sacrifice can lead to unexpected treasures. And for Luisa, Pedro represents a life she'd never imagined but now starts to desire. Together, they begin to dream, to imagine a future where simplicity and truth can coexist with love. Yet, the mystery of their families looms over their romance like a shadow. Gradually, Pedro and Luisa feel the weight of their parents' stories that don't always intertwine peacefully. Helena and Joaquim represent two opposing forces, but Pedro and Luisa believe they can build something new without the shackles of the past. They know their love will face sacrifices, that truth is often a winding path. But both are willing to move forward, confident that together they can find a balance where before there was only conflict. The secret meetings between Pedro and Luisa reveal the depth of their feelings and also the inner dilemmas they face. They know that, to live out this relationship, they'll eventually have to confront the prejudices surrounding them. And even with the uncertainty, they allow themselves to dream. Luisa imagines herself beside Pedro on the farm, surrounded by fields and greenery, while he envisions a future where they can be free to love. Yet, the mystery of how they'll face their parents remains. As their romance blossoms, Pedro and Luisa feel they are on a journey of discovery and courage. Their relationship is more than just young love. It's a union that defies the world around them and exposes the truth that the heart follows its own rules. They decide that, come what may, they will stay together, knowing their love is a force worth every sacrifice. And even without knowing how they'll be received by their parents, both are willing to fight for what they feel, one step at a time toward whatever the future holds. Helena, always driven by ambition, sees Joaquim's farm as a financial opportunity that could further strengthen her business. To her, that land means little beyond a potential profit, a strategic investment that could easily be added to her portfolio. However, when she makes an offer, she faces unexpected resistance. Joaquim, who has sacrificed so much for that land, sees the farm as the center of his truth, a legacy he won't sell without a fight. To him, the farm is more than just land, it's the realization of his life. Surprised by his refusal, Helena is taken aback, even offended by Joaquim's rejection, a mere farmer. In her world, money solves everything, and it's hard for her to understand what could make a man turn down such a considerable amount. But Joaquim doesn't flinch. He knows that certain values are priceless. It's the kind of truth money can't buy, and because of this, Helena begins to feel something new, a curiosity about what that piece of land truly means. The first glimmer of doubt appears in her mind. Determined to understand what makes that farm so special, Helena decides to visit the property. And there, walking through the fields and observing the simplicity of the place, she starts to see the world through new eyes. Joaquim's dedicated work, the sacrifice etched into every plant and inch of soil, begins to tell a story that goes beyond commercial value. She wonders if the value he gives to the land isn't, in fact, something she herself has lost over the years. It touches her in an unexpected way. With each step, Helena feels the influence of that environment within herself, and something in her heart starts to open. She realizes that Joaquim's world holds a unique truth, a family mystery that connects generations and personal histories. Helena begins to understand that not everything can be reduced to a price tag, that sacrifice and love for something greater create a value beyond any monetary measure. For the first time, she feels an inclination to honor what this man has built with so much effort. Back in the city, Helena finds herself reflecting on everything she observed on the farm. The seeds of doubt and respect have been planted, and she begins to question her own priorities. If before she wanted to acquire the farm at any cost, now she realizes she may need to rediscover the true value of her own achievements. What once seemed like a simple transaction now becomes an opportunity for learning, a call to reassess what she truly seeks in life. Joaquim, unknowingly, is already influencing her. With time, Helena decides that perhaps her connection with the farm doesn't need to be about ownership, but about support. Instead of forcing a sale, she considers helping Joaquim make his dreams of sustainability come true. She begins to understand that supporting this project could be the true contribution she's been searching for, a sacrifice on her part that carries the truth of a lasting legacy. Without realizing it, Helena is changing, and Joaquim's farm becomes the symbol of a personal transformation she never imagined experiencing. Over time, Helena realizes that her connection to Joaquim's farm is no longer about ownership but about purpose. Something within her changed when she observed the value Joaquim placed on the land, the sacrifices he made to keep it alive and productive. She now sees that true wealth lies in creating something that lasts, something that impacts other lives. Inspired by this new perspective, Helena decides to set aside her financial ambitions. She feels that by helping Joaquim, she's also reconnecting with a truth long forgotten within herself. Determined to contribute meaningfully, Helena proposes a partnership with Joaquim to implement a sustainable irrigation system. She realizes this project represents much more than just a financial investment. It's an opportunity to honor the legacy of someone who has given everything for that land. Joaquim, surprised, observes Helena's transformation with a look of hope and acceptance. He knows this support is an important step, not only for the farm but also for a new understanding between them. At last, he sees in her someone who understands the value of the land. Seeing Helena involved in the project, Joaquim feels that, in some way, the sacrifice he made over the years has found its purpose. They work together, sharing ideas and strategies, and Helena dives into the world of farming and sustainability, something entirely new to her. Meetings, once cold and formal, are now moments of mutual learning. And in the process, both begin to discover the value of collaboration and respect. Helena, with her business vision, and Joaquim, with his wisdom of the land, make an unlikely but powerful team. This joint work begins to transform not only the farm but also Helena herself. She realizes that the most fulfilling achievements don't always come from accumulating material wealth but from leaving a positive impact on the world. For her, this irrigation project is more than a sustainable initiative. It's a way to give back, to honor Joaquim's struggle and sacrifice. This new outlook on life transforms how Helena relates to her own world, her family, and even her personal values. She starts to see that truth lies in giving, not just in possessing. With each step taken in the project, Helena feels that she's building something that truly matters. She and Joaquim become almost like mission partners, united by a greater goal they now both share. For Joaquim, Helena's transformation is a sign that the legacy he valued so much is finally being recognized. He starts to see the farm as a center of transformation, an example for other farmers and the local community. The truth of what he built is taking shape, and Helena is now an essential part of this process. This new path isn't just a professional achievement for Helena, it's a personal redemption. By helping Joaquim transform the farm, she feels that she herself is also changing. The sustainable irrigation project becomes a symbol of renewal for them both, a reflection that sacrifice and truth are the foundations of any lasting legacy. And so, as they work together, Helena and Joaquim share a sense of peace and purpose that transcends past differences. Now, the future seems full of possibilities, not just for the farm but for both of their lives. On the farm, a new chapter unfolds as Pedro and Luisa decide to unite their lives in marriage. The wedding, simple and filled with love, takes place amid the greenery, where every plant and leaf seems to witness the love that has grown between them. The preparations reveal the care they put into every detail, reflecting their desire to honor the land that means so much to both of them. For Joaquim, seeing his son there, committed to the farm's legacy, is a dream come true. And for Helena, it's a chance to see her daughter building something solid, something that brings peace to her heart. The guests, a mix of friends from both worlds, look on with admiration as Pedro and Luisa exchange vows of love and commitment. This wedding is more than just the union of two people. It represents the fusion of values and lives dedicated to hard work and growth. In every word and every shared glance, they reaffirm their intention to follow their parents' path, but in a way that's uniquely theirs. The truth that unites them is strong enough to overcome any differences, and the sacrifices they are both willing to make are a promise for the future. At the makeshift altar, Luisa firmly holds Pedro's hand, and they both share the desire to see the farm thrive. They don't just inherit a piece of land but a responsibility to Joaquim's legacy and to the new irrigation project they've built together. This project is now part of Pedro and Luisa's life plans, as they see sustainability as a way to continue their father's work. With an emotional smile, Joaquim watches the scene, knowing that his dream is safe in the hands of those he loves. After the ceremony, the guests gather for a modest but meaningful banquet. Each dish is prepared with ingredients from the farm, a tribute to Joaquim's hard work and love for the land. Amid the celebration, Helena reflects on how much has changed since that encounter at the airport. She sees in Pedro and Luisa the hope of a better future and feels that the sacrifice she made in re-evaluating her values was more than rewarded. The truth of their union and the legacy they choose to uphold are, for her, a symbol of redemption. With Helena's support, the sustainable irrigation project gains even more strength. Now, as a couple, Pedro and Luisa commit themselves to this mission to ensure that Joaquim's dream stays alive. They take on the farm with passion and responsibility, understanding that every decision they make will impact future generations. This truth gives meaning to their work and strengthens the bonds that connect them to the land and the community. The sacrifice they're both willing to make in the name of this project is, to them, the greatest gift they can offer the future. That night, while looking up at the stars over the farm, Pedro and Luisa feel that their journey together is only beginning. United by love and commitment to Joaquim's legacy, they plan to expand the irrigation project and make the farm a center of innovation. Challenges will come, they know, but together they have the strength and determination to face them. The truth of who they are, the values they share, and the sacrifices they're willing to make ensure that the future will be bright. There, under the starry sky, they see a world of possibilities opening up. As the years go by, Joaquim leaves this world, but his spirit lives on through what he built. The irrigation system, his greatest sacrifice and also his greatest truth, becomes an example for other farmers who wish to preserve the land. Inspired by the legacy he left, Pedro and Luisa expand the project, reaching other states and regions. The farm, once just a family refuge, transforms into a center for agricultural innovation, drawing interest and support from experts and local governments. In this way, Joaquim's presence is felt, even though he's no longer there. The impact of the sustainable irrigation project spreads, and Joaquim's farm is now a national reference in cultivation techniques. Farmers from across the country come to learn, bringing hope and new ideas for their own land. With continuous support from Helena, Pedro and Luisa organize workshops and events to teach Joaquim's method, which becomes a true family mystery revealed to many. Each visitor who arrives brings their own story of sacrifice and search for a truth Joaquim knew well, creating a network of support and exchange. The farm is no longer just a place of cultivation but also a space where knowledge and solidarity flourish. Pedro, now leading the project, often talks about his father and the challenges they faced to reach this dream. He recalls the late-night discussions, the uncertainties, and the moments of faith, and with every word, Joaquim's sacrifice echoes as a lesson. Beside him, Luisa organizes records and documents about the farm's journey, turning Joaquim's legacy into a book of memories and teachings to be passed down to future generations. However, Joaquim's legacy goes beyond agricultural techniques. It represents the power of honest work and faith in a purpose. Farmers who apply his methods not only improve their crops but also rediscover the value of the land and community. The truth Joaquim taught about respect and harmony with nature begins to inspire those who hear his story. Helena, now a grandmother, watches the project's fruits with pride, feeling like a part of this transformation. She finally understands that true worth lies in building something that transcends time. Over time, the government and sustainable agriculture organizations take an interest in Joaquim's work. The farm becomes a destination for researchers and investors, intrigued by the social and environmental impact of the irrigation system. Pedro and Luisa, honoring the commitment they made at their wedding, devote themselves fully to expanding the project's reach. They know this work is the result of Joaquim's sacrifice and truth, and they feel the responsibility to keep the legacy alive and accessible for all. It's a way of giving thanks, a tribute to the man who taught them so much. In the end, Joaquim's farm becomes a symbol of resilience, love, and transformation. And as Pedro and Luisa carry the project forward, they feel Joaquim's presence in every corner, as if the spirit of the land itself embraced him. The farm is now more than a business. It's a monument of knowledge and a testament to the power of a lasting legacy. And for each person who comes to learn, Joaquim's truth is revealed, that sacrifice and dedication are the seeds of a future that benefits everyone. Indeed, the mystery of his legacy only grows over time. So, what does this story of sacrifice, truth, and family mystery awaken in you? We all have a metaphorical farm, something that demands dedication, love, and faith in a greater purpose. Have you thought about the impact you could leave behind? Joaquim's legacy shows us that any sacrifice is worthwhile when it's done with truth and intention. What dreams have you put aside? What steps could transform your life and the lives around you? Now is the time to commit to something that truly matters. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep learning about the transformative power of life stories. Comment below on the legacy you wish to leave for the world.